All right, now I would like to demonstrate some of the superuser capabilities. First, I'm going to log in as SysAssist DBA. Now, this is a superuser, so the VPN functionality won't block all anything but that particular login's data. So, for example, before Sam could only see her own record in the customer table, but now SysAssist DBA can see all of it. Also, I've credit card number just to show that this super user doesn't get the masking functionality. So the credit cards are no longer masked for this user. In addition, the SysAssist DBA can see all of the receipts for the day, not just their own personal ones. This is all the receipts we had for the sales today. And in fact, we can see that our bookstore at this point has made a grand total of $221.47. So that's some of the super user functionalities. But what I really want to show you now is the security functionalities. So bookstore is the ID that owns all of the tables. So as the security super user, this ID can now see all of our audit tables and exception tables. First, I want to put this in so that when I do the report, it will look nice. Oh, I also want to make this longer so we can see the full report when we make it. But first, let me show you that I can now, as bookstore, I can see all the audit records in the customer table. I'm ordering this by date descending so that we can see the most recent customer addition on top. And the most recent customer addition was the customer ID of Sam, which was entered by Sam herself, and it was a new record, so it was inserted. In addition, the customers aren't allowed to add anything to the meta tables, which are the publisher, the author, and the book tables. But our security bookstore ID can add records into these tables. So I've created a new row here. And that new row still will trigger an audit in the publisher audit table. Okay, again, these are sorted by newest on top. So this was the action that just happened. Public press was added. It was an insert action and it was added by user bookstore. Okay. Similarly, I can do the same demonstration for author if I decided to insert a new record there. One row created. Now I can see if I go to the audit table that that activity has been monitored. This is the author audit table. Most recent activity, author Dickens was added, was inserted, and it was done by user bookstore. We also have any DDL activities that occur, creating audit records into our exceptions table. So for example, if I create this little test table, I can now go into the exception table and see that this has happened. Okay, we've had quite a lot of exceptions, but the very top one will be a DDL error of bookstore. Also, you can see down here some login errors. Again, when I demoed Sam earlier, here she is. She logged in badly, and I accidentally logged in incorrectly with Bookstore, but all of those are also in the exception table. All right, so now the most important job as the security person of this company is I need to do my weekly report, or I reported the last week's exceptions. So first, let me put my server output on. All right, one more time. And now we're going to run the weekly report, which is within the last week, everything that has been put in an audit table or exception table. So here we see that for this week ending 12/3, we've had 6 failed login attempts. The table book had 0 modifications, author had 5, publisher had 9. The customer changes report, we can see that user sys did 4 inserts, 5 deletes. And here's user Sam. She's done 4 inserts and 1 delete. We've had 54 DDL exceptions. And then these unknown errors, that's where there was some error running in one of the procedures that tripped off an error. So that's our weekly report. So that's the end of our project.